But he didn't have the experience and skills, so it wasn't built on his natural talent over the years that he was growing up. And so he won't be the best in the world at that. Most Americans do not know what their strengths are. When you ask them, they look at you with a blank stare and they respond in terms of subject knowledge, which is the wrong answer. This is a very difficult thing to get at. We all have strengths. I know it because I work with a ton of clients, and they all have them. And it's very hard for you to see, because it's the thing that comes easiest to you, and therefore you don't think it's a strength, right? If you think you're really good at something, odds are that's not your strength, right? Because you had to work hard and you're really proud of it. This is something that, like, you don't even realize that you're just so much better than everyone else at. And so you really need outside opinion, not professional help, just outside opinion about what your strengths are, right? You need to understand, like, what is it that makes you special? What do you bring to the table? What could you do that people would be willing to pay money for? Okay? Because there is a killer business. I believe this to be true. My experience has told me this is true because I've never come across it not being true. That there's a business out there that's good for each and every one of you, right? It's not always easy to find. Sometimes it's really difficult to find. But it's there. You have a strength. You spent time, you were born with certain innate talents. And some of those talents have been exercised. What they are, I don't know. Right? But when you identify what you're good at, what you're really good at, what your strengths are, you don't want to do anything else. It's fun. You need to do what you do best every day. I mean, that's a pretty simple formula, isn't it? You need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you doing what you're best at every day? Now, you can't go from maybe where you are to that by deciding today that tomorrow that's all you're going to do. Because maybe that's not the reality that you live in. But you need to get there. Because if you don't get there, you'll never really have a business that's really strong, that really allows you to win long term without the kind of competition that, you know, is evolving online. These are just some quick stories about how I won. So I was in the retail business, and I was 22 or 23, I don't remember, 21, and at the time I was young. That was the only thing I had to really go with, right? I mean, it wasn't my years in business, wasn't, you know, anything else. It wasn't my fashion sense. So my strength at the time was my youth and my knowledge of what kids my age liked and disliked, and that's exactly what I capitalized on. And I beat everybody. The Gap, Urban Outfitters, everybody, because they were all run by adults. And my whole team was young kids, just like me. And we were out at clubs at night and then going back and buying the clothes that we saw. I mean, it was really pretty straightforward. We made the store look like a club. In the hypnosis market, I had the biggest chain of hypnosis centers that, you know, privately owned that ever existed. And everybody, when I was in New York, was trying to be the best. All the hypnotists were trying to be the world's best hypnotist. I had no illusions that I was ever going to be the world's best hypnotist. I'm actually a mediocre hypnotist at best. And I studied with all the world's best, but just not something I'm really that good at. So how was I going to win? Well, I focused on my business skills. I built a business out of it, right? And I beat the crap out of all of them. I mean, really, like, you know, I put a lot of people out of business. Because, like, I was busy running full-page ads and bringing in tons of people and hiring guys like Jay Abraham to work with my company. And these guys were busy spending all their weekends going to hypnosis conferences learning how to be better hypnotists. I crushed them. In coaching, right, I think I'm one of the highest paid coaches in the world, you know, for my time. And I have one of the most successful coaching programs in existence. And is it because I'm that much smarter than everyone else? I don't really think so. I think it's because I didn't create a coaching program like everybody else. Right? Everybody else, like in internet marketing at the time, was creating coaching programs that were really on the tactical stuff. And I realized that I wasn't going to be teaching people the tactical stuff. I mean, after I realized how bad I was with search engines. So what the hell was I going to do? So I looked at the fact that I had built so many businesses that maybe that was a strength of mine. And the more I did it, the more I liked it. And then finally I got some compliments on it, and then I got results. And, you know, it's pretty incredible. 4 ways I help my clients identify their strengths: psychological testing, modus operandi testing, 360-degree anonymous feedback forms, which you can do all these. Introspection exercises. I told you, I write in my journal. Write in your journal. Have a journal. Write in your journal. That's like one of the easiest ways, because if you think about it long and hard enough, it will come to you. It's not what you naturally think it is. And modus operandi testing is really more about, like, how do you approach things? Are you someone who studies a lot, then takes action? Or are you someone who takes action? You need to know how you do things so that you can figure out how are you, based on who you really are and how you do things, going to get to the next stage in your business. Passion. Full transparency means you must do great things.